mentioned in your takeaways that you think restaurants might be sort of the category where there's going to be a winner, because we often talk about how there's always room for another one in small business because it's so fragmented and so vast. But you think that may be a category that somebody ties up and owns. Is that right?
We've seen so much funding going into the restaurant vertical in the last couple of years. In July 2017 alone, two Boston startups, Toast and Upserve, each raised $100 million that month.
Right.
They've gone on to raise more capital. Square's focusing pretty massively on this space. Touch Bistro has, raised a big round.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, you have OpenTable, a very large incumbent company kind of playing in this space. And so what we are seeing is kind of more and more aspects of how I, acquire guests and how I run my restaurant, from scheduling, we got companies like 7 Shifts, like across, like every aspect is being automated.
Right.
And, if you really want to own a market in the SMB context, what you need is sort of some base product where you have enough scale that you can then build or buy other products to cross-sell to those merchants, which drives how much revenue you get from them. And then you can plow that increase to acquire more customers. It becomes this sort of flywheel, right?
Right.
And that is the path to kind of owning a market. And, absent some viral loop. And so we think, because it's such a focused market with so much technology investment, that there's room for someone to emerge as the dominant vendor who has built or bought all those components, is acquiring the most revenue per month from those restaurants, delivering the most impact to those restaurants, and therefore will emerge as the market leader.
Does this play out through a series of big M&A activity?
I think it'll start with more modest M&A, but then as that market leadership is becoming, closer to reality, you'll see more transformative M&A.
Okay, and you're not picking a winner?
Not yet.
You're picking some candidates? Are there are there a few candidates?
Yeah, I mean, Toast is very much kind of on our radar screen as a company that's doing great things. Square is already, a market leader more horizontally, but this is a super important vertical for them.
Right.
So those two companies, are definitely tops in our list.
And interesting, an incumbent like OpenTable, which was a disruptor at one point, is now the disrupted in some sense. How do you have a take on what happens with them? I still book a lot of reservations through OpenTable, but I know there's a lot of people biting at their ankles and offering, leaner solutions and more functionality. And anyway, so any thoughts on them?
They feel reasonably vulnerable.
Yeah.
Partly just due to their vintage. But
yeah.
Also, when they started out, they were loved by restaurant owners because what they delivered and monetized was new guests.
Right.
But for many, many years now, they have charged restaurant owners for existing guests who maybe have been there before. And therefore, I think
they're just using the tool to book a table, and that could be done more cheaply. Yeah.
I go to the same restaurants all the time, but I always use OpenTable just because it's convenient.
Right.
But that's an incremental cost for the restaurant owner. So they're not
booking software is something of a commodity if that's all it's being used for, right? Yeah.
Correct. But booking is important. It's already large and proven, but I'm going to stereotype again. So that millennial restaurant owner, if he or she could avoid talking to a human being in order to make the reservation, they will.
Yeah.
And so I think there's going to be more and more demand for booking software. But where the rubber hits the road, like restaurant is a tough business, and it's actually in your operations, in your scheduling, your table turnover. It's a 1,000 little details.
Staff management is a big one.
Yeah, staff management. Not having food walk out the door when the staff leave at night, or follows a wine. There's a whole bunch of things where the actual nuts and bolts operations of a restaurant, which is really where Toast plays versus an OpenTable, is where the most opportunity for kind of value creation for the restaurant owner lies. And so
that's why Upserve started in the isn't Upserve's original proposition around managing the team, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
but they've branched out into every other aspect of the business and sort of the
That's right.
natural flow of things. Okay, so it's interesting. So that plays out over the next year or two, you think, in this category, or takes a
Longer,
little longer?
yeah, longer. You know, it's not. If this was a consumer thing, if it was the next social network, it
Right.
would either work or not work in some very finite period of time. You
Hmm.
know, this market will play out longer. I just think because it is a finite, very focused market, there is the opportunity to have a clear market leader there. But I think it'll play out over many years.